game of the night. Nuggets, Lakers, Denver looking for the closeout. Jokic looking to take out LeBron for the second straight season. First half, back and forth. Jay Will, look at a nice two-man game here, LeBron and AD.
I mean, just their ability to play inside and out. This is what AD is at his best until the injury occurs at the beginning of the third quarter.
Well, you're going to see it right here. The Lakers led in all 5 games at halftime.
Random.
But what do we see there? He just gets bumped on the shoulder by D'Angelo Russell. What do you see here?
He just gets bumped by Michael Porter Jr.
That's it.
The injury occurs and his game was never the same offensively. I do believe if his game was the same, the Lakers have a legitimate shot to send us back to crypto.
As you say, he went back to the locker room, then came back. Now 5 minutes to go. Monica, jump in here with me. Jamal Murray. Oh, he throws it down on LeBron.
Oh, my goodness. Jamal Murray reminding folks that he is a champion, and he steps up in big-time moments, but they only got bigger.
The final minutes were unbelievable in this game. Lakers down by 2. Austin Reeves. Lakers up by 1. 2 minutes left. Same score on the other end. Huge offensive rebound here, Jay Will.
Yeah, LeBron James just got a box out here on Aaron Gordon. Well, this one's by Jokic. The next play is actually the one by Aaron Gordon, which LeBron James should have boxed out.
We're going play by play. That one gave the Nuggets the lead.
Big shot.
Then LeBron gives the Lakers the lead. Now here's the possession. This is the play.
This is the one you got to get. Just got to box that one out. LeBron James stayed on the ground. You got to grab that offensive rebound. Leads to a huge 3 by Jamal Murray.
Yeah, but that's what Aaron Gordon does, though. He did that in the previous victory as well.
Lakers still down by 2. LeBron, final 30 seconds. Draws the foul, makes them both. We're tied at 106. The stage set for another spectacular finish. Remember what Jamal Murray did at the end of game 1 with the game winner, 10 seconds to go. Tie game. Murray up and good, but stand by. Lakers have no timeouts, so they got to rush it up. LeBron, Taurean Prince, that's all they get, and it's over. The Nuggets, for the second consecutive year, take out LeBron and the Lakers. This time in 5. It'll be Denver and Minnesota in round 2. Jamal Murray had 32. The Joker had 25 points, 20 rebounds. LeBron, 30 points, 9 boards, 11 assists, but it's not enough. The Lakers are headed home, and LeBron is headed into an uncertain future.
I'm not a participation guy. We lost, and you move on and see how you can get better. But our season has been derailed all season with just like injuries and guys in and out. And I talked about it all year. He was around us all year. I said it's hard to say who we are, what we can be, because we have yet to be whole.
I'm just curious if you could give us some sense of the things that you'll weigh as you go towards the decision for year 22 or beyond.
I haven't given it much thought. Obviously, at some point, I'll sit down with Rich, my agent, and sit down with my family and see what's best. What's best for my career. So we'll cross that when we need to.
Was there any thought at all that this could have been your last game with the Lakers?
I'm not going to answer that. Appreciate it.
Not going to answer it, but Brian Windhorst is going to answer it. Brian Windhorst got up at like 3 a.m. in Los Angeles exactly so he could answer this question. Windy, how would you assess the possibility that last night was the last time we see LeBron James in a Laker uniform?
I do not think that it will be. However, I do think that LeBron intends to opt out of his contract and become a free agent for the first time since 2018. And I think that will apply a little bit of pressure to the Lakers. I think he's doing it for 3 reasons. Number 1, because I think he wants to see what the Lakers do around the draft. They have potentially 3 first-round picks that they can trade, a couple of contracts that they can package with it to upgrade the team. You remember that they did not make any significant upgrades to this team at the trade deadline. LeBron did not forget that, and I do think he likes to have that pressure on them. Number 2, as you may have heard, his son Bronny may be, and I expect to be, in this draft. The Lakers, I think, will keep their draft pick. The New Orleans Pelicans have the option to either take this year's pick or defer to next year. I believe the Pelicans will defer to next year, so I think the Lakers will go into the draft with the 17th overall pick and the 55th overall pick. LeBron has expressed an interest in possibly playing with his son. The Lakers will have potentially 2 chances to draft him. And number 3, I think that there's some features that he can put in a new contract. Number 1, if he opts in, he only gets 1 year and $50 million. He could potentially get multi-years. And also, he does not have a no-trade clause in his contract. There's only one out there in the NBA. It belongs to Bradley Beal. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd like to lock that in as well. So I do think we're going to be hearing some silence from LeBron between now and the end of June as we watch what the Lakers do as a team.
So to be clear, though, what I did not hear you say in any of that was LeBron retiring or LeBron playing anywhere else. Is there, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but how would you assess the possibility that either of those wind up on the table?
Well, I do not think retirement is on the table at all. He's talking about the future. He also had a very, very good season where he played his most games in 6 years. I think he intends to continue his career. I will say LeBron will be an unrestricted free agent, I believe, when he opts out. And when that happens, I would never rule anything out. That said, I believe the Lakers want him and intend to re-sign him, and I believe LeBron wants to be a Laker. But if you're an unrestricted free agent, you're an unrestricted free agent. So I wouldn't close that door.
Okay, so let's leave that part of it there for the moment. That's the big picture. That's the future. Let's live in the moment here, Jay, Will, and Monica, as we look at a series in which the Lakers led practically, in fact, Cindy, let's put up full screen number 1 if we can.
69% of the game.
The Lakers dominated on some level so much of this series and yet lost. They led 165 minutes through the Nuggets 59. They blew leads of 12, 20, 12, and 9 points in this series. So it certainly isn't as though they were dominated.
I'd be shocked if LeBron James weren't there, and I think Darvin Ham is an incredible coach. I think he would be better suited for a younger team. But, when you think about the overall gist of the series, in those stretches, I think they were out-executed. And by the way, Anthony Davis has talked about this. Anthony Davis literally said, we have stretches where we just don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor. All those are ones that cost us. You have a cornerstone player that is saying this about the coaching. And by the way, after the in-season tournament, you lose 10 of 13 games. There's a lot of rotational questions around this team. I do believe that, granted, the matchup was really bad against Denver, but they had the pieces to ultimately win a championship. I think you make moves in the margins, you bring more athletic players that can provide shooting, and I think AD and LeBron James are closer than people give them credit for to getting to a championship game. I do.
In his reporting after the game, our Dave McMenamin, who you heard asking a question in there, did say that league sources tell him the Lakers will take a long look at their coaching situation, and that I believe the term he used was future in jeopardy for Darvin Ham as the coach. But time will tell. We'll get back to Windy on that. Monica, as far as the series, the game last night and the 5 games, it all felt so familiar. It just felt part of the same picture. The Lakers were able to go toe-to-toe with them for 14 rounds. And then in the 15th, it seemed like the champ just took over each time. How do you describe the difference?
Experience and confidence. Post-game, after Jamal Murray knocks down his second game winner in this series, head coach Michael Malone says, I didn't need to call a timeout there, I know exactly what we're doing. So to Jay's point, there is just a clarity that the Denver Nuggets have that you only have once you have. And a lot of that is they are defending their championship from last year. For as delightful and kind of eye-popping as the stat is about the 165 minutes that the Lakers lost, it's the minutes that matter. And even LeBron James had pointed out through this series, it had been about the third quarter in particular, and if you want to go into clutch time, for as good as the Lakers have been during the course of the regular season, the Nuggets were just that much better. And so I am a little bit disheartened to hear that this might fall on Darvin Ham, but it makes sense because when we look out at the West, this was the team that you said had the experience and the personnel best equipped to go up against the Denver Nuggets. Now, it's not a sweep, so there's progress in that way. I'm struggling with what I believe the percentage should be on the Lakers' issues versus the Nuggets are a really good dynastic type team.
Well, I mean, both can be true. Yeah.
Just one example of this, right? And it's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback.
Right.
I hear that. But also knowing the rules. I think it's a crappy rule that when you challenge a play, you lose a timeout, especially if the challenge is deemed successful. But in that moment, when you challenge that block, and then you see time situation, which, this kind of epitomizes the bigger issue that you see with the team. It comes down to stretch. Jamal Murray makes that shot with 3. You can't have a timeout to advance the ball, to have a last shot. It's a microcosm of a bigger situation. That's the thing.
That happened at about 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So let's explain for everyone who doesn't know what Jay is talking about. Darvin Ham found himself without a timeout left at the end of that game for 2 reasons. One, he had to use one when Anthony Davis gets hurt. And then 2, he challenged, I don't know if he doesn't know, I don't know. Windy, maybe you can help me with that. You were there, I was not, or you're closer to the situation than I am. But to Jay's point, he challenges the call. It's a successful challenge,
yes, and
but you still lose a timeout for that, which does seem like an incongruous rule. Windy, what else can you clarify for us on that?
What was his second challenge of the game? That's the important thing. He already had a challenge in the first half. So even if you win the challenge and get your first timeout back, you don't get your second timeout back. And I don't know if Darvin was aware of that in the moment, but the important thing is that did take 2 points off the board. This was a single possession game at that point. That challenge was successful, took 2 points off the board. I think in the moment the Lakers were willing to make that trade-off. But Darvin has been under pressure for late game tactics throughout this season and in this series. In game 2, when they blew a 20-point lead, he ended the game with 2 timeouts in his pocket and an unused challenge. So that is, he's been caught on both ends of that in this series in tough, close losses in Denver.
And Greeny, I'm not sitting up here on national TV saying that this all falls on Darvin Ham at all, but it's those slight details that help you get to the end of a championship, and it matters.
Well, I think, look, the bottom line of it is it's very hard to blame the coach in a series in which the better team wins. And I think we all agree the Nuggets are the better team. I think they're the best team in basketball, regardless of what the final records were this season. But
you can make a case
there were opportunities.
They should have been in the play.
But my point is, they had their chances. The Lakers had chances. And when you need everything to go right if you're going to beat the better team.